If you thought the Republican primaries were ugly so far, wait till you get a load of what's coming up next. They are going thermonuclear on Newt Gingrich. Now, every conservative you could imagine has unleashed hell on Newt. You've got the National Review saying Gingrich's backers say that he's inspiring. What he mostly seems to inspire is opposition, but they're just getting warmed up. You've got Drudge Report, link after link to different websites and articles saying Newt Gingrich is a disaster waiting to happen. Some of the conservatives are telling Politico they are now coming out guns blazing against Newt because they realized that they had a, quote, holy crap, it could happen moment. Like, I can't believe Newt Gingrich might become president. Not just the candidate. Some are worried, oh, my God, what happens if this guy becomes president? That's how worried they are about Newt Gingrich. American Spectator as well. Let me give you just a sampling of this stuff. First of all, Newt was claiming to be in, the Ronald Reagan candidate. He's mentioned Ronald Reagan more than all the other candidates combined. A new line of attack against him was shown on Morning Joe on MSNBC when they started talking about how Reagan didn't really like him and Gingrich didn't really like Reagan. So they found 3 old quotes of Gingrich's to try to torpedo him in what he said about Reagan. Let's watch that.
The most dangerous summit for the West since Adolf Hitler met with Chamberlain in 1938 Munich.
There you go.
President Reagan personally knows there is a Soviet empire. It is a global transnational threat to America and to freedom. He ranks with Presidents Truman, Eisenhower, Kennedy, and Nixon in trying to focus attention on the Soviet empire and in trying to protect freedom. Yet, President Reagan is clearly failing. Beyond the obvious social indicators of decay, the fact is President Reagan has lost control of the national agenda.
President Reagan has lost control of the agenda. He is clearly failing. He's doing appeasement like they did of the Nazis. This is what Gingrich was saying of Reagan. All right, now here comes the onslaught from the other top figures. First of all, Politico talked to a conservative figure who did not want to be named because of possible retaliation. He said, quote, it could happen, meaning Newt Gingrich could win, and it would be a disaster. All of us who were around and saw how he operated as Speaker, there's no one who's not appalled by the prospect of what could happen. Then others go on the record. You remember Tom DeLay? Nobody worked closer with Newt Gingrich than Tom DeLay did. Here's what he had to say. Quote, he's not really a conservative. I mean, he'll tell you what you want to hear. He has an uncanny ability, sort of like Clinton, to feel your pain and know his audience and speak to his audience and fire them up. But when he was Speaker, he was erratic, undisciplined. All right, that's pretty bad, especially coming from Tom DeLay. It gets worse. Here's the American Spectator's R. Emmett Tyrell Jr. He says, quote, Newt and Bill are the 1960s generation narcissists, and they share the same problems, waywardness and deviancy. Newt, like Bill, has a proclivity for girl hopping. His public record is already besmeared with tawdry divorces, and there are private encounters with the fair sex that doubtless will come out. And the name of that title of that piece is William Jefferson Gingrich, meaning Clinton and Gingrich being combined here. But did you notice the end of that? They're saying, you know what? You think you already heard all about Newt's affairs? You ain't heard nothing yet. Uh-oh, that's interesting. Do we have more Herman Cain-like grocery shopping for women in Newt's future that we're going to find out about? But here's what's happened. The establishment on the Republican side has decided, end of this. We cannot have Newt Gingrich win. And so they are all counterattacking at the same time, and they are piling on. Just about every conservative you can see is saying it can't be Newt. It's a fascinating phenomenon. So how will Newt respond? Of course, with his own thermonuclear device. Now, he's going to take this lying down. Here comes his vicious attacks this morning against Mitt Romney. Let's watch.
Many of you probably noticed a number of attack ads and all sorts of junk, and that's what it is. This is the desperate last stand of the old order, throwing the kitchen sink hoping something sticks, because if only they can drown us in enough mud raised with money from companies and people who foreclosed on Floridians. Let's be really clear. You're watching ads paid for with the money taken from the people of Florida by companies like Goldman Sachs, recycled back into ads to try to stop you from having a choice in this election. That's what this is all about.
Oh, he brought out Goldman Sachs. And what he's saying is Mitt Romney, who made money off of Goldman Sachs, had investment in Goldman Sachs, Goldman Sachs came and shut down your houses. They foreclosed on your houses. And that guy's going to take that money and run those ads against me. Don't trust Mitt Romney. He's totally tied to Wall Street. I love this Republican race, man. So he's saying this guy's connected to all those guys, and we're just getting warms up. Round two.
What level of gall does it take to think that we collectively are so stupid that somebody who owns lots of stock in Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, somebody who owns lots of stock in a part of Goldman Sachs that was explicitly foreclosing on Floridians, somebody who's surrounded by lobbyists who made a living protecting Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, can then build his entire negative campaign in Florida around a series of ads that are just plain false. Because they're counting on us being too stupid or too timid.
Well, I don't know about the stupid part, but Newt Gingrich ain't too timid. That's for damn sure. He's like, he shut down your house. He foreclosed on your houses. They're Freddie Mac. Now, Newt Gingrich lobbied for Freddie Mac, got $1.6 million. But Newt Gingrich is unencumbered by feelings of guilt over hypocrisy. He just wasn't born with that gene. So he doesn't care. He's like, you know that Mitt Romney made money off of Freddie Mac. How could he shut down your homes? I can't believe it. But you know, he's right. Of course, Mitt Romney said, oh, no, that was in a blind trust. Boston Globe did a story on it. They're like, yeah, except for the fact that you knew exactly what was in the blind trust, thereby not making it blind. Okay, Rich always try this trick. Well, oh, what is it, a blind trust? Oh, it's a Freddie Mac? Ooh, I didn't know. Right? So Newt Gingrich calling him out on it. Round three.
We have to ultimately focus on beating Barack Obama, but we're not going to beat Barack Obama with some guy who has Swiss bank accounts, Cayman Island accounts, owns shares of Goldman Sachs while it forecloses on Florida, and is himself a stockholder in Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac while he tries to think the rest of us are too stupid to put the dots together and understand what this is all about.
Newt, he's coming for you. He said that all these attacks against him were, quote, the desperate last stand of the old order. I don't know if it's desperate. I don't know if it's the last stand, but it is definitely the old order coming after him. And then he continued his line about whether we're too stupid to understand this when he said, quote, he won't tell you that now because he's counting us on us not having YouTube. That's funny. He says that's how much he thinks we're stupid. Well, we're not stupid. The message we should give Mitt Romney is we aren't that stupid and you aren't that clever. Here we go. Mutually assured destruction. Have at it, Hoss. These guys are ripping each other to shreds, both pointing out things that are actually totally true about both sides. Newt Gingrich did get money from Freddie Mac to help sell out the American people, and so did Mitt Romney. Did Mitt Romney make money off of Freddie Mac, Goldman Sachs, et cetera? Did they foreclose on houses in Florida? You betcha. Does Mitt Romney not pay his fair share of taxes? You betcha. Did Newt Gingrich do influence peddling and lobbying to sell out on health care, energy, you name it? You betcha. They did all of it, and now it's all coming out because of this vicious fight. And you know what? It's a great thing for the American people to find out what these guys are all about. Now, who wins out of that fight? I have no idea. So we'll have to see next Tuesday in Florida. And between now and then, you got war on your hands.